You're not here by accident. You didn't click this video because you're curious. You clicked it because something in you is starving for order, for power, for a new identity. You're tired of waking up soft, tired of being one version in public and another in private. This is not advice. This is not motivation. This is a mental reset. What you do in the next 30 days will decide who you become for the next 30 years. You don't need more words. You need war. A silent war. A war of discipline. A war against yourself. Every man walks with two shadows. The one he shows the world and the one he fights when no one's watching. This program is not a challenge. It's a contract. 30 days of absolute obedience to the Forge. The Forge is repetition. The Forge is silence. The Forge is where Mike Tyson was built. Not the ring, not the fame, the repetition. The days nobody watched. The mornings nobody clapped. The nights nobody cared. Do this for 30 days and you will never see yourself the same again. But you need to understand one thing. You will want to quit. Your mind will scream for comfort. Your muscles will beg for mercy. That's the voice of your old self. That's the version that's dying. And you have to let it. You have to let that man die so the other can breathe. The other one, the one you don't even know yet, he's stronger, he's colder, he's focused, he doesn't flinch, he doesn't wait, he doesn't ask, he commands. That's who you're about to meet. But first, you have to break. You have to break the lies, the softness, the need to be understood. This isn't about how you feel. It's about who you are. You're not here to survive. You're here to command. I train in silence. I move with purpose. The man I was is gone. The man I'm becoming has no fear. You want to change? Then you better start thinking like a fighter. Not a boxer. Not an athlete. A fighter. A man who doesn't wait for the bell. A man who doesn't need the crowd. A man who wakes up with one mission. Kill the weakness before it kills you. That's how I trained. That's how I breathed. Every morning I wasn't trying to win. I was trying to destroy the version of me that still wanted to sleep. The one that still needed comfort. That's the real fight. The mind. You don't beat your opponent on fight night. You beat him at 5 a.m. when your feet hit the ground and nobody sees. You beat him when you train through pain, when you train through boredom, when you train through voices in your head telling you to stop. That's the mentality. Not do your best, not try hard, not see how it goes. No, you lock in. You obey the mission. You get up and you grind until your body listens. You repeat until your name sounds like discipline, until you breathe like a machine, until you stop asking for strength and start becoming it. I was never the biggest. I was never the smartest. But I was ready to suffer more than anyone else. I was willing to be hated, doubted, forgotten, just to become undeniable. That's the difference. People want the win, but avoid the war. They want the crown without bleeding for it. But you, if you're watching this, you don't get that luxury. You weren't built for comfort. You were built for war. War with the inner voice that says, you've done enough. War with the distraction. War with the second guessing. That voice? That's your opponent. That's the one trying to take everything. That's the one you fight every morning. And you don't talk to him. You don't reason with him. You don't give him time. You crush him with your routine. You bury him in discipline. You silence him with action. Because once you let that voice win, even once, it multiplies. It returns. It takes territory in your mind. But when you respond with fight, when you train through the doubt, you starve the weakness. You become a new man, a cold man, a clear man, a focused man, not angry, not loud, just lethal. You walk differently. You think faster. You stop apologizing, you stop explaining. You show up. You dominate. That's what a fighter is. Not a brawler, not a thug. A fighter is a man with a system, a man with a reason, a man who sees suffering as fuel. And if you really want this, I mean really want it, then you better make peace with pain. You better marry it. You better shake its hand every morning like it's your trainer. Because the pain you feel today is the strength you wear tomorrow. The doubt you ignore today is the voice that goes silent forever. And when you fight like that, when you train like that, life has no choice. It bows. The world doesn't give you respect. You take it with every rep, every set, every lonely hour when nobody's watching. That's how a fighter moves. That's how I moved. And I'll tell you right now, if you don't have a fight mentality, you're already losing. You're already bleeding inside and calling it fatigue. You're already drifting and calling it patience. You're already hesitating and calling it strategy. Don't lie to yourself. The truth is, you either fight or you fold. And if you fold, it's over. But if you fight, you rise, you evolve. You terrify the old version of yourself. That's how the beast is born, through repetition, through sweat, through obsession, through war, every day. No excuses, no noise, no breaks. 30 days of pure war. That's what it takes. I don't break a sharpen. The war is daily, and I show up ready. You want to know where the real fight is? It's not out there. It's not the critics. It's not your job. It's not the people who don't believe in you. It's you. Always has been. You are your first enemy, and you're also your only savior. That's the war nobody trains for. The war inside your own mind. There's a version of you right now that's trying to survive. He wants comfort. He wants distraction. He wants to be accepted. That version has to die, you hear me? He has to die. You don't evolve by negotiating with weakness. You kill it. You bury it. You build over its bones. That's what I had to learn. Not in the ring, in life. Every day I was at war with myself. The fear, the doubt, the memory of failure, the hunger to prove something, the shame that never spoke out loud, but lived in every thought. You think this is about winning fights? No. This is about becoming the kind of man who doesn't flinch in front of his own darkness. That's where real power lives. In the silence. In the shadows. In the moments where no one claps for you, no one says your name, no one tells you to keep going. You either collapse or you rise. You either hide or you build. That's the war. And it doesn't end. You don't win it once. You fight it every morning when your alarm hits and you want to sleep. You fight it every time you want validation, every time you reach for your phone, every time you compare. That's not life, that's weakness trying to pull you back. And it's smart. It knows your patterns. It speaks in your voice. It hides in your comfort. But if you see it, really see it, you'll understand something. You were never tired. You were never broken. You were never average. You were just untrained, mentally untrained, spiritually untrained, emotionally soft. But that changes now, because the man who can stand in the middle of chaos and not blink, that man wins. Not because of luck, because of inner mastery, control, ruthless self-respect. And I say ruthless because it requires killing things you've protected for years. Your excuses, your fake limits, your stories, the way you used to define yourself. You have to burn it all, not once, every day. You have to become your own weapon. No one's coming to save you. There is no applause, no shortcut. Just discipline, just focus, just suffering. But that suffering is sacred. That suffering is where you meet yourself. That's where your real identity is born. The man you're meant to be. He doesn't need approval. He doesn't fear failure. He doesn't wait to be chosen. He builds in silence. He trains in the dark. He walks into his fears like they owe him something. That man is in you, but he's buried under years of lies. Lies you told yourself. Lies you believed because they were easier than the truth. But now you know the truth. And once you know, you can't go back. You either accept the war, or you lose your soul. That's what's at stake here. Not a six-pack, not a better job. Your soul, your fire, your dignity. I've been broken, I've been humiliated. I've looked in the mirror and hated what I saw. But I stayed in the fight. I didn't run. I forged myself with every rep, every cold morning, every lonely night. I didn't need anyone to believe in me. I believed in war. I believed in repetition. I believed that if I could win against myself, no one else could touch me. And I was right. Because once you conquer the inner war, the outer world becomes irrelevant. People's opinions? Irrelevant. Setbacks? Irrelevant. Pain? Just part of the plan. You move different. You see different. You stop playing the victim. You stop being the echo of your past. You become the storm. You become the voice. You become the fire. I destroy my limits. I silence my weakness. I am the man behind the war, and I win it daily. You think greatness happens in the spotlight? It doesn't. You think discipline comes when people are watching? It doesn't. The real work, the real transformation, that happens in isolation, in the quiet, in the dark, in the places nobody claps for you, nobody sees you, nobody texts to say, keep going. That's where men are forged. You don't build power by being seen. You build it by being forgotten, by disappearing from the noise. That's what I did. When I was young, they didn't understand why I trained alone, why I didn't smile, why I didn't talk much. It wasn't because I was angry, it was because I was focused. I knew that if I stayed in the light, I'd get soft. But if I stayed in the shadows, I'd get sharp, I'd get dangerous. That's what isolation is, a forge. You walk in with questions, you come out with identity, you walk in with weakness, you come out unbreakable. But it's not pretty, it's not motivational, it's lonely, it's silent, it's cold. Nobody tells you good job, nobody validates your efforts, and that's the beauty of it. Because when you stop needing applause, you finally hear your own voice. You finally hear the truth. You're either building or you're decaying. You're either focused or distracted. You're either disciplined or deceived. There's no middle. And when you're alone, there's nowhere to hide. The mirror doesn't lie. The clock doesn't lie. The reps don't lie. You either did them or you didn't. That's why isolation is power. Because it makes you face yourself. The fake you dies. The real you rises. You learn how to sit in silence and still hear the fire. You learn how to train without music, without hype, without reward. You learn how to breathe through boredom, through pain, through doubt. And in that silence, you build something dangerous. Self-respect. Because a man who respects himself doesn't quit. He doesn't need eyes on him. He doesn't need motivation. He trains because it's who he is. That's identity. That's strength. That's what isolation gives you. You stop performing. You start becoming. Every hour alone is a brick. Every repetition in silence is a weapon. Every moment without attention is a test. And you either pass or you fold. Most fold. Most post their progress. Most talk about what they're gonna do. But you disappear. You go ghost. You become the man who's too busy working to explain, too disciplined to announce. You don't train for followers. You train for freedom. And freedom is earned in silence. It's earned in empty gyms, in early mornings, in quiet nights, in saying no when your body screams yes. That's how you take back your life. Not by posting it, by living it, by bleeding for it, by choosing boredom over distraction, reps over rest, truth over comfort. That's what I did. And people didn't get it. They thought I was obsessed. And they were right. I was obsessed with evolution, with becoming a version of myself that couldn't be broken, that didn't need praise, that didn't seek approval, that just did the work, day after day, alone, in silence. That's where the beast was built. And I'll tell you something else. When you train in isolation, you become dangerous in public. Not because you're loud, because you're unshakable. You walk in rooms, and people feel something different. They don't know what it is, but it's there. It's presence, it's fire, it's focus. That's what you earn when no one's watching. That's what you carry after 30 days of isolation. The man who walks out isn't the same as the one who walked in. He's colder, he's calmer, he's locked in. I train alone, I conquer in silence. Discipline is my language, isolation is my forge. Everybody wants to win, but no one wants to lose first. No one wants the fall. No one wants to break. But let me tell you something real. The fall is the beginning. The break is the invitation. The pain is the code. That's what I learned. That's what I lived. You don't rise from success. You rise from the floor. You rise from silence. You rise from moments that make you question everything. And I've been there. I've been to hell. I've tasted regret. I've felt shame so heavy it almost crushed my chest. Not in the ring, outside it. The real knockouts, they came in life, in the decisions I made, in the people I lost, in the man I couldn't even look at in the mirror. And you know what? That pain, it woke me up. It stripped away the fantasy. It burned off the pride. It showed me who I really was. Broken, unfinished, and still breathing. Still fighting, still dangerous. That's the comeback code. You don't come back with noise. You come back with action. You come back with silence. You rebuild yourself brick by brick, rep by rep, morning by morning. No one needs to believe in you. You believe in war. You believe in the process. You believe that what broke you yesterday will fear you tomorrow. I didn't come back because I wanted revenge. I came back because I owed it to myself. I owed it to the kid I used to be. I owed it to the man I wanted to become. And if you're broken right now, good. That means you've got nothing left to protect. Nothing fake to hold on to. You're empty, and that's the best place to build something real. No ego, no excuses, just truth, just fire. That's where I started again, in silence, in pain, in the dark. And every day I showed up. Every day I trained. Every day I bled. Not for applause. Not for fame, for redemption, for power, for peace. Because when you rise from rock bottom, you don't walk, you storm. You don't explain, you execute. You don't need validation, you are validation. That's what comeback really means, not bouncing back, not pretending it never happened. No, it means owning your scars, wearing them like armor, and turning pain into precision, anger into clarity, doubt into dominance. I didn't hide my past, I used it. I didn't erase my failures, I studied them. I didn't avoid the darkness, I trained in it. That's how you rise. That's how you command. You don't beg life to get easier. You get harder. You get colder. You become the type of man who thanks the pain for what it built. And you know what pain builds? Identity, structure, power. The kind you don't have to explain. The kind people feel when you enter a room. That's the comeback code. And it's not for everybody. Most people want comfort. They want recovery without change, but not you. Not if you've come this far. You want something real, something final. You want to become the kind of man who doesn't break when life hits, who smiles, who steps forward, who says, "That all you got?" That's the man who comes out of the fire, the man who knows his own shadow and walks with it. Not ashamed, not scared, just ready. You've got 30 days, that's all. 30 days to rise, 30 days to return, 30 days to become the man you were meant to be. No more doubt, no more delay, no more hiding from the man you are. I rise from the fire. I rebuild in silence. My pain is my fuel. My past is my power. The beast isn't born in chaos.
He's born in routine. Discipline is the altar. Repetition is the prayer. And every single day, I knelt before both. You want to change your life? Don't look for motivation. Build rituals. Build structure. Build non-negotiable habits that
stack your power brick by brick. That's what I did. That's what every beast does. You don't guess your way to greatness. You schedule it. You ritualize it. You engrave it into your blood. First light. No questions. No snooze. No comfort. First light. You rise. You move. You train. Not because it feels good, because it resets your code. The world's still sleeping, and you're already in motion. That's power. That's identity. You're not a man who waits. You're a man who creates. The ritual starts with silence. 5 minutes. No phone, no noise. Just you and your breath. Lock in. Control it. Remind your nervous system who runs the show. That's mental strength. Then, repetition. Push-ups, squats, burpees, shadow boxing. You don't need equipment. You need hunger. You need the will to move when no one's clapping. You move because that's who you are now. Not someone trying to get fit, a weapon getting sharper. Every rep is a reminder. I don't wait. I don't break. I build. After the sweat, stillness again. You take 10 minutes to visualize. Not dreams. Identity. See yourself walking like a winner, thinking like a general, speaking like a lion, owning every room, dominating every silence. Visualize it until it feels like memory. Because the mind doesn't know the difference. It just obeys repetition. Then the code. Write. Pen and paper. No distractions. Just 3 things. Who you are, what you will do, and what you will not allow. Every day. Same time. Same place. I wrote mine like this. I am unstoppable. I train without noise. I destroy my weakness. I do not negotiate with comfort. That was my script, my command. I didn't need anyone to read it. I needed to become it. And when your brain sees that same message every day, it adapts. You start to believe it. You start to breathe it. You start to move like it's already true. That's ritual. That's control. Then gratitude. 1 minute. Name 3 things. Not soft, not vague, specific. I'm grateful for the pain I felt yesterday. I'm grateful for waking up before the world. I'm grateful for the fire in my chest. Gratitude is not weakness. It's fuel. It's perspective. It sharpens your edge. Then eat. Clean. Simple. Fuel, not pleasure. Food is not entertainment. It's preparation. You eat like a man preparing for war. Not like a boy looking for comfort. Then you go. Into your work. Into your world. But now you're armed. You're dangerous. Because you've already won the first 6 battles before 8 a.m. And when most men start their day hoping for strength, you're already walking in it. That's the difference. That's the beast. But it doesn't stop at morning. Night matters too. Before bed, review. What did I do right? What did I allow? Where did I slack? Where did I dominate? You face yourself with truth, not emotion, no guilt, just data, just progress. And then, one final repetition. Your identity, Say it out loud, in the dark, in silence. I am disciplined. I am built for this. I am fire in human form. You. Say it every night, until your brain doesn't flinch, until it becomes law. 30 days of this. No skips, no breaks, no edits, and you won't recognize yourself. You'll think faster, breathe deeper, walk harder, speak less, move sharper, not because you're trying to change, because you've already become. And that's the secret. Transformation is not intensity, it's repetition, ritual, structure. That's the beast's religion. No hacks, no hype, just sacred discipline, every single day. I rise with purpose. I sleep with power. My rituals are my roots. My discipline is my dominance. This is the end of the message, but it's the beginning of your new identity. If you've made it this far, you already know you're not who you were. That version of you? He's done. Gone. Buried. You've seen too much now. You've trained too much. You've suffered too much. There's no going back. This is no longer about motivation. This is about memory. Muscle memory. Mental memory. Identity memory. You've repeated the rituals. You've stepped into the silence. You've bled for clarity. And now, it's yours. The new code. The new walk. The new standard. You don't flinch anymore. You don't scroll to escape. You don't beg life to be easy. You look it in the face and say, I'm built for this. Because you are. You've trained that into your nervous system, into your bones, into your breath. You've conditioned power. You've conditioned presence. You've conditioned purpose. You've gone from waiting to commanding, from doubting to deciding, from hoping to creating. You've burned the old story and written a new one, with sweat, repetition, and silence. Let me tell you the truth. Most men never do this. Most men drift. Most men talk. Most men wait for permission to change. But you didn't wait. You acted. You suffered for it. You isolated for it. You trained for it. You got up before the world. You faced yourself when no one else would. That's what separates you now. Not your body, not your skills, your discipline, your code. That's what makes you different now. That's what makes you dangerous now. You don't walk like everyone else. You don't think like everyone else. And you don't need to speak much, because your presence says it all. It says, I've been to war. I've rebuilt from nothing. I've forged myself in silence. I am not the man I used to be. I am not seeking. I am becoming. I am. That's your new affirmation. Simple, final. I am. No more waiting. No more needing. No more hiding. Just identity. Just dominance. Just daily proof. You don't argue anymore. You demonstrate. You don't explain anymore. You execute. You don't ask anymore. You command. And that's how it stays. Because now, the real test begins. After this video ends, after the voice is gone, after the light fades, and it's just you again. You in the mirror. You in the repetition. You in the voice in your head. What will you do then? That's the only question left. You've got the system. You've got the identity. You've got the scars. And you've got the fire. You just have to protect it now. Daily, relentlessly, quietly, with no one watching. And every time you feel yourself slipping, you repeat, I am. Every time you want to skip the work, I am. Every time fear whispers, I am. Every time comfort calls, I am. Let those two words become your armor. Let them become your response to every weakness, every excuse, every distraction. Because from this point on, you don't react to life. You impose yourself on it. You don't absorb energy, You generate it. You don't fall into patterns. You create them. You are the standard now. You are the weapon. You are the storm. Walk like it. Think like it. Speak like it. Train like it. Live like it. And never forget, this wasn't about hype. It was never about noise. This was about obedience. Obedience to the mission. Obedience to the code. Obedience to your own evolution. 30 days. That's all it took. But what you built in those days, it's eternal. It's permanent. Because it came from pain, from silence, from discipline. And that kind of power never fades. I am not who I was. I am who I choose to be. I lead my mind. I obey my mission. So what now? Are you going to scroll back to your old self, or step into the ring as the man you were meant to be?